Let us see a candlelight effect in Photoshop. So here we have a candle on a hand. So now what we'll be doing is we will first apply curves adjustment. So here we have the curves adjustment, and we will make the scene a little bit dark. So we will just create a point over this curve, and we will just drag this point and make the scene a little bit dark. Right. So now we will rename this curves layer darkness, and we will invert the mask. We will select the mask thumbnail for this curves layer, and we will invert the mask. So we can use Control I in PC or Command I in Mac. Right. Now we will again apply one more curves adjustment to this particular image, and this time we will change the RGB to blue. So here we have selected the blue option. So if we create a point over this blue curve and drag it upwards, we will turn the image into blue color. We will apply blue color to the image, but we want yellow color. So the opposite of blue color is yellow. So we need to drag this curve downwards. So when we drag the curve downwards, we can see a yellow color. Right. So we want to use this yellow color for a bright yellow glow. Right. So now we will just invert the mask for this yellow glow. So we will rename the curves layer yellow, and we will select the mask thumbnail for this curve layer and invert the mask. We'll simply hit Control I in PC or Command I in Mac. Right. So now we will first select the darkness curve layer thumbnail, the darkness curve layers mask thumbnail, and we will just select a brush. We will select a soft rounded brush, and we will keep the flow amount to, let's say, 50% for the brush, and we will reduce the brush size just by using left square bracket, and we will paint darkness around this candle. So we will keep white as the foreground color, and we will just slowly paint darkness around the candle. We need to ensure that the candle portion is left. We don't want to paint over the candle. We want darkness only around the candle. So something like this. Right. So once we have painted darkness around the candle, now we will select the mask thumbnail for the yellow curve layer, the yellow lighting that we have just now created. So we will select this layer, and then we will just paint yellow color over the candle portion, just like this. Right. Now the next thing we'll be doing is we will just take an empty layer above all these layers, and we will change the blending mode for this empty layer to linear dodge. Right. And then we will select the same soft rounded brush, and this time we will slightly reduce the flow amount to, let's say, 30%, and we will select a pure golden color that is in between yellow and orange, somewhere over here, and then we will also make the shape of this brush into an oval shape or egg shape. So we will simply right click on the document, and we can just find the brush options. We will squish the roundness for this brush so that it doesn't look like a perfect circle. So now we will just click once on this flame. So we can see here. So we can see a glowing flame. Right. The next thing we'll be doing is we will take one more empty layer, and this layer we will be adding some glow over the candle, means around the candle. So what we'll be doing is we will just change the blending mode for this empty layer to color dodge, and we will select a lasso tool. We'll create a selection or draw a selection in this conical shape, something like this, and we will give maximum amount of feather to this particular selection. We will simply right click inside the selection and we will select this option feather, and we will put the feather radius to, let's say, 25 pixels. So we have given maximum feather to this selection. Now we will fill the selection with this golden yellow color, or let's say golden orange color. So we will simply use Alt backspace in PC or Option backspace in Mac for filling this selection with the foreground color. Right. So we can see a very bright and intense glow has appeared inside the selection, but this doesn't look interesting. So what we'll be doing is, now with the layer active, we'll simply go to filter menu, and here we have blur, and we will now select the Gaussian blur. So we can just increase the Gaussian blur amount. Right. But this doesn't look nice. So now what we'll be doing is we need to control this brightness. We will just double click on this layer to open the layer styles, and then inside the layer style here we can see blend if options, and below the blend if option we can see this layer. So means this layer is the color dodge layer. So we will first reduce the brightness here. So here we have the brightness slider. So we will just move the brightness slider or highlight slider for this layer to left, so that we can completely remove the lighting. So the glowing light is now gone. Now what we'll be doing is we want some amount of that glowing light. So we can split this slider. To split this slider, we can simply hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac, and then just we will split the slider. So we can see here, and now we can decide how much of lighting we want on the hand. So we can see here, we need to ensure that the lighting is not too much. So we can see here. Right. Now the last thing we'll be doing is we'll take one more layer, and for this layer we will apply screen blending mode, and then we'll select the brush, and this time we will reduce the flow amount for the brush to just let's say 8%. With 8% flow and with orange or yellowish orange color selected in the foreground, we will just increase the brush size a little bit, and we will just click once or twice, that's it, and we can just slightly reduce the opacity. Right. So here we have created a glowing candle effect. Do subscribe, like and share.